Hello Year 7 students. In this video I'm going to show you how to create a Google form, enter some data and then have a look at the spreadsheet behind it. And you'll need to know all of these things to complete the data project in this problem unit. Okay, so here I am in Google and I'm in my drive, and what I'm going to do is create a form. Now the form needs to be named, and it will give you a range of different covers that you want to do. So I'm going to, for example, you might call yours 7.2, because I'm in the 7.2 class, group 1, and maybe even, maybe your initials, AB for me, and Mr. Dager, and someone else, because you'll probably have a group of 3. Now I don't care, you can be creative here, you can select any of these types of sample forms that you would like. Let's go for purplicious, so you click on that. Now down the bottom of the screen here is the OK button. If you can't see that, you'll just have to expand the screen, stretch out the screen a bit. Okay. Now just a couple of things before you do anything else. You'll need to scroll to the top here. See these form settings? You'll need to turn that one off, and you say yes, it's okay if it's accessible outside, so we'll turn that one off. Okay, and so here's my title. Now here's where I enter questions. Now for the purpose of this survey, you don't really need to know students' names, so we don't need to have a name question title, but I might say my first question might be, how much do you love maths? Now think about the responses you might want to get. I don't want people just to type in heaps, great, not at all that sort of stuff. So what I want to do is I want to create a question type. Now there's a couple of things here. Text is just a small box of text that you can allow students to enter. Here's a big box of text. Multiple choice, well, we're not looking for correct or incorrect answers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a scale, but you can use all of these things, and you should use a couple of these things for your survey. So a scale where we might say, I only want from 1 to 4. And one is best ever. 2 is great. Whoops. Now, hold on. And so what that's going to do, okay, let's just say average, because no one hates maths. We will click required question. So every time someone goes into your survey, they'll have to do this. Now, you don't have to click done, you can just click add another item. Okay, and for example, let's have a think of another question. We've got a scale, we've got, okay, unrelated, but which sport do you enjoy? And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to create checkboxes. And so the first one is rugby league. The second one is rugby union, and I'll just do one more, tennis and none. Okay. Again, I'm going to make this a required action, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit done. Now here's another important part you must do. Publish and show a link. Although this isn't ticked, you must do that. Okay, you can leave that ticked, you must tick that, send form. And this is the code, but we'll have a look later. So I'm just going to say done. Right. Now once I do that, I'm going to just now choose a response destination. What happens is when students start entering data from your form, it has to go somewhere, and we're going to put, this helps decide where it goes. Just before we do that, have a look. How much do you love maths? So you see how I can click any one of these things, and down here, which is sport to enjoy, well, I can click a couple of those. But anyway, I'll come and have a look at that in a second. Choose response. Now what it does is it's going to put it in a spreadsheet, which is what we want, and it's sensible to keep the same name as your sheet. Create. And we're finished. Now I can close this tab now, So I'm closing it. And here is my form. So I'll just click on here again. It takes me back into the editing part of the form. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the live form. Okay, and this is what your groups will see. Maths, of course, is best ever, and I enjoy rugby union and tennis, and I'm going to submit my answer. Now, I'm going to submit another answer just to give you a demonstration of where the data goes. This time, I'm going to say to, and I'm going to say rugby and that. Submit. And obviously, we can submit a number of times. But I'll close this one now and go back into my... So here's the form you can see, and here is the spreadsheet with responses. If I click on this, what you'll see is a spreadsheet. Right, this is when I entered it, and here you can see the rating scale, and here you can see the different results that I get from this question. So once I start doing that, then I'll be able to start producing some information from this. If I show a summary of results or responses and just click on that, look at this, you automatically get some graphs. Now, it's your job later on to use these graphs and analyze what's going on. But what you can see is how much you love maths. Well, one person responded 1 out of 4. One person, here's the measure, responded 2. How many people like rugby union? 1. How many people like, rugby league? How many people like rugby union? 2. Tennis, 1. So you get an idea of the sort of information you might get. And that's how many responses I got just today. So today, the same date, there's the 21st, which is today. And the number of responses so far is 2. Again, you just close that tab. And I can close this tab as well. I don't need to look at the data anymore. Now, the last thing you need to know is when I view the live form, in fact, let me test this. If I send the form, no, I'll not do that. View the live form. What you'll do now is, although you can't see above here, I'll just go to my URL and copy my URL. And then I could go to email or echo. So I might go to echo and paste that URL into echo, so other students can then access your spreadsheet, your form, and key in their responses. They don't get to use your spreadsheet, they only get to use your form. So there's a shortish explanation of how to create forms and where the data goes, and then how to use the data to create charts or column graphs, as we saw in the example. And we'll look at some more things as we go through these videos. Good luck.